For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for the first edition of the Patrick Stanton Show here in 2023. Currently joined by Wheeling University head indoor track and field coach Patrick Stanton. And Patrick, you guys are coming off the YSU mid-college major. Talk about the meet in general and kind of what you saw from your team.
Yeah, it was a fun meet. I think the first couple of meets coming off of break, we're kind of getting our legs back under us and kind of shaking off some of the rust. Our team, honestly, we were pretty happy with it. They worked really hard over break. It's just some people don't have tracks, they don't have access to like their implements if they're throwers or, high jump standards, pole vault pits, that kind of thing when they're at home. So there's a little bit of just kind of like getting our legs back under us and getting back in the swing of things coming off of break. So that's really the goal of the first two meets, the Spire and the YSU meet, is just kind of get back to where we left off. And if we get some good performances in the meantime, then awesome. I think that's what we've been doing. I think that we're on track to do that. But the meet at YSU was just a lot of fun. It was just a really good team atmosphere. The team, has missed no steps and getting hyped for each other, supporting each other. And we saw some really nice performances as well. A lot of, top 2, top 3 finishes at a really competitive meet where they saw D1 and high-level D2 competition. Jabez finished in the top 3 in both of his events, the 60 and the 200. Julian and Lorenzo are both top 3 in the men's hurdles. Aisha was up there as well in the women's hurdles. Kiala was second in the pole vault for the seated. So a lot of just really top-level performances, and we're just excited to keep building on it.
And not a lot of field events competing at the YSU mid-major, but one group that did really well was the pole vaulters. You had Kiala McCurry and Kimbria Lance on the women's side and Elijah Young on the men's side. Talk about that group in general and how they've kind of stepped up this year. Yeah,
they've been doing great. I'll give them a lot of credit. They sincerely don't have strictly a pole vault coach. I'm their pole vault coach, and that is not my background. I've learned a lot about the event with their help. But they don't have, a true experienced pole vault coach working with them. It's just us working together as a group. So they have taken on a big leadership role to help work with each other and help teach me the event so I can help them at the events. So the fact that they are, continuing to improve, Kiala is just under her PR already. We're a couple meets into indoor season. Eli has hit an indoor PR and is looking really good at the next height up. Kiala, I think she looks really great, at that next attempt up, which would have been above the Provo mark for nationals. Kimbria is coming off an injury that had her out all of last year, basically, and she's been working really hard to get back into shape and just like kind of get back into pole vault form. And they've just been doing a really good job. They're a really fun group to work with and have some of the most just supportive energy out of our team. So they're a really fun group.
And then you mentioned the sprinters a little bit earlier as well, Jabez Reeves, Julian Griffin. They've really kind of stepped up their game from last year and kept it going. How have they been able to do that and have such low times on the track?
Yeah, it's really just a continuation of what they've been doing from last year. I think that they built some really good momentum last year, starting to work with Coach Jada Barker, who's our sprints and hurdles coach. They saw really good results working with her. So that just upped their confidence and their trust in their training. And just help them take it to the next level. They worked really hard over the summer. They worked really hard all fall. They worked really hard over the winter. And when you're doing that consistently over the course of like a year and a half, you're just going to see really good results. And it's a huge testament to their hard work and their trust in Coach Barker. And it's a huge testament to Coach Barker and just her keen eye and the technical aspects of the sprints and the training that she gives them. I'm really blessed to have a really phenomenal coaching staff working with me, who, we don't have any full-time coaches besides me, which is pretty rare for a D2 track team. So we've got GAs and volunteers who are working above their job description to be event coaches and just taking that head on and not shying away from the workload, not shying away from what that means. And they're not doing it out of any allegiance to me or anything like that. They're doing it just because they really, really care about their athletes and their success. So I'm really blessed to have them as a coaching staff.
And the final group I wanted to hit on there was the throwers. Camille Graham, a few meets ago at the Spire Midwest, had 2 PRs, one in the shot put, one in the weight throw, and then continued that this week. Talk about her and how she's kind of led that group.
Yeah, Cami has been on another level this year. She is really taking just being a true thrower seriously. She came in as an athlete who really could have gone in a lot of different directions in terms of the events that she did. She was still kind of jumping a little bit last year and kind of like had half in the water of throws, half in the water of jumps. This year she's been full throws all year. And she's really just taken that head on, and she has worked really hard. Our volunteer throws coach, Ashton Grounds, has been working really well with her, and kind of just helped take that group to the next level. She's committed to learning the weight throw. That's an event that she had never done before and had been really hesitant to learn. But she's come into it, really motivated this year and really fearless in learning that event. So I think her potential in that event, and then looking ahead to outdoor, learning the hammer throw, which is a very similar event to the weight. I think she's got a lot of potential in those events going forward.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head indoor track and field coach Patrick Stanton. And Patrick, talk about how your athletes kind of use this break coming back to continue to improve. You mentioned some of them don't have access to some of the equipment they need. How important was that to come back in shape and be ready to compete again?
Yeah, I think out of the years that I've been head coach, I think we've gotten better every single year at athletes just coming back in shape. Whatever they need to do over winter break and summer break to just kind of connect the dots from last semester to this semester, they've done really across the board. Not just the top level athletes, not just the ones going to nationals, but from top to bottom, everyone on the roster did a really good job of just doing everything they could to stay in shape. And another shout out to our coaches. I think across the board, our coaches work really hard to help our athletes adapt to what they do have access to. If they're a high jumper and they don't have high jump standards or a high jump mat, but they have a track and they have other things, they have the ability to do plyos, then they work with our coaches to be able to get the work in that they're able to get. Really, same with our sprinters, same with our distance runners, really everybody across the board just worked really hard and communicated really well with what they were able to do.
And then this week, you guys are looking at the Ashland Judd Logan Invitational here Friday and Saturday. Talk about that meet and kind of what you guys are expecting heading into it.
Yeah, Ashland's a big meet. It's a really nice new facility that they just built there. The first meet that they had was last year. This will be the second. Looks to be really high-level competition. We'll get heat sheets hopefully today or tomorrow to really see what we're looking at. But it was a great competition last year, awesome facility. We just want to keep building. We just want to keep continuing to, from where we left off and just keep building each week heading into conference here in a couple weeks. So we're just, excited to have a good team day, have a lot of fun, cheer each other on, and see where we're at.
And finally, talk about this push. You guys got a busy push to the MEC Championships here, a bunch of meets here in February. How are you guys approaching this and getting ready for that big conference championship event?
We just want to get everyone what they need. We look at these big meets where we're taking the whole team, like YSU, Spire, and Ashland, to just make sure that we are putting in the work to keep building on our team culture. We had a lot of returners this year, so a lot of people are just kind of picking up where they left off. But I think if you want to have a team that's really energetic and supportive of each other and, a tight-knit family, as we like to say, I think that's a muscle that you have to work. So we want to make sure that we're very intentional about that at those big meets that we're going to. Looking ahead to, next week when we're split up a little bit, we have some people going to pre-nationals down in Virginia. We have some people going up to Grand Valley State. We have some people going to Capitol, and we'll have some people just off and resting. Looking ahead to that week, we're really just wanting to give everyone what they need. The people who have hit the Provo mark already and are really looking to make a push to go to nationals, we want them to be used to running on that track at nationals. It's a 200 bank track, so it's a little bit different. So we want them to get a feel for that before they go to it. The distance runners going up to Grand Valley and the pole vaulters, they just need a fast race. They need a fast race on a 300 track. For the pole vaulters, it's technically 2 meets, Friday and Saturday. So they get the opportunity to actually pole vault twice if they want to. So just 2 opportunities to get a higher mark. And then everybody else at Capitol or off, they're either making a push to qualify for the MEC Championship or they're just resting for the MEC Championship. So I think just being in tune with our athletes, in tune with our coaching staff, and seeing what each group and what each individual needs heading into the championship.
Thanks, Patrick. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Cool. Thanks, Zach.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.